Was that considered ASMR? Is it ASMR? No, definitely not. Never mind. Hi friends, how are you? So every time I do a video, I'm always talking about my computer, especially the laptop being weird. It needs a new battery. Sound, the camera, there's always something to complain about. We are about to dive into a new series, K-On! So this was a series I was always planning on reacting to after I finished with Hibike Euphonium. Now, obviously, there are the movies left. Those will go on Patreon first, and then they'll come on to... So we're about to dive into another Keone series. This one, I think, from what I've gathered from little bits and pieces, is that unlike Hibike Euphonium, which was a series of light novels, then made into an anime with KyoAni's very amazing style, K-On's also KyoAni, but that was a manga first, so they are adapting the manga style. So I am intrigued if I'll pick up on any little KyoAni things, like they a lot of the directors and the animators have different little quirks. Now some of them will come out a bit more in the more things like Violet Evergarden and Hibike Euphonium, where they get to do their own styles. I'm curious to see if I'll see kind of the same. I'm curious to see if I'll see the same kind of little quirks, like focusing on the hands, the feet, or anything like that. But also, it depends on the director. So actually, it's funny. My sister really wants me to get better at my videos and improve them, and she's like, "Okay, I want to help you any way that I can get better." So I actually shifted my microphone. So microphone's the same, but I moved it closer. I don't know if that's going to change any of the sound quality. Maybe not. Or sound, because I realized my sound sounded weird, like different than before. I didn't know how to fix it. So maybe adjusting a different volume on my computer, as well as my input volume, as well as moving the mic closer might help a little bit. It's a really good mic. It's still good, but I've heard other mics like this, and people are like, "Yeah, it sounds like a potato." Why does it sound like a potato? Anyway, but I know the camera could use some improvements. Just a webcam. It'd be cool if I could get a camera, which I don't have. So I think I have my mom's old digital camera, but I don't think it would work. I don't know. Anyway, I've said enough. I don't really know anything about the series, except I heard it's really cute. I heard it's funny. And it's all about music too. This one's different. It's not a marching band or orchestra or any of that. It is, I think from what I've gathered, is some girls, I think maybe a guy, coming together to form a band. So that does make things a little different. So I'm really excited about this. There's really not much else to say except welcome to the channel. This is how I usually begin my videos, complaining about tech. And saying other stuff. I know last two videos for Hibike Euphonium, I didn't do any countdown timers or any of that. I'm kind of playing around and I'm doing some pauses during the anime, which usually I only do if there's like a midpoint review. So I might do that. We'll see. I know I put a poll on the community page asking people, hey, should I pause more? Should I not pause at all? Should I, only pause for the midpoint review if there is one? I know that Eurocamp doesn't have a midpoint, like a commercial break, so I just kind of, it's kind of a straight, smooth operation. So it just really depends. So I'm going to play it by ear. I might do some pauses, especially since I'm new to this anime, and I'll have to go through the adjustment period of a different style, flow, so on and so forth. Anything else to say? No. But by the time this reaction comes out, my reaction to some music videos will come out. That's about all I got. That's all I gotta say. I'm tired. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in. So maybe I realized I should probably read about the series. So according to the website plot summary, this is the first year of high school for the 4 girls looking for their very special club. So they're all 15-year-olds. The healthy and energetic Tainaka Ritsu, club president and drums, decides to join the school's light music club, only to find out the club is about to be closed due to the lack of members. Without much ado, she drags along her childhood friend, the shy, mature, and sensitive Akiyama Mio. That leaves only 2 more members required to keep the club from closing. Luckily, the gentle, calm, warm, and cute Kotobuki Tsumugi keyboard stumbles into the club only to be convinced by the pleading Ritsu to stay. The last member, the easily distracted klutz, oh gosh, we love a klutz, Hirasawa Yui, can only play castanets, even though the club needs someone on the guitar, but she is bribed with cake to stay anyway. Will Yui be able to learn how to play the guitar? The special one she just brought and loves so much before the 4 girls graduate. Oh, so we're focusing a little bit on, well, according to the summary on Yui. So originally came out in 2009. It's comedy, music school, slice of life. And, yeah. And it looks like there's a second season and a special and a movie or 2 movies. So lots of content. Really excited. It's going to be such a good time. Now we can dive in. Oh, it's a picture of them. So I was like, freeze frame. And of course we have my usual guest. I think I have this a little loud. Or not. Trying some new in-ears. So the K-on style is very simplistic versus very simplistic. It has all of the boom, 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 boom key points of an animation. Oh, but we got the close-up of the feet. Boom. We're already there. This reminds me actually a lot of, girls running, stopping to talk to people. So we've already established this girl's a mess. But we also see she's friendly, she's kind, because she was chatting with an old woman across the street, looking at a kitty cat. So she wasn't late. She reminds me a lot of Nadeshiko. But Nadeshiko is that kind of hyper, a little messy character. Nah. Ooh, the theme! So she's our main girl who doesn't know how to play guitar but is gonna learn. The one thing I am grateful about Funimation animations is that scoot over. Funimation animations is that they not only give you the what's the word? Well, they give the transliteration of the lyrics and the lyrics, which is kind of really sweet. I mean, we usually I say international, but I heard a short term called interfans, which I really like. We interfans appreciate it because we like the music, we want to learn it, but we don't know how to speak the language. So giving us a transliteration, which is what we're seeing on the top of the screen, is really appreciated. I'm missing so much, I know. Okay, there's a lot of those in like Korea and Japan. These like stones that go across rivers. I've never seen that where. Well, I live in kind of near a city though. I don't see it very often when I go into nature. Probably gonna make a lot of comparisons. Oh, these are the club presidents. Well, all the girls have different hair colors. You know, unsurprisingly, you start to hear the same voices in like every series, more or less. I like the little addition of having little petals land on her. Land on her. I was gonna say it's her first day, but it's 2 weeks. Wow, we kind of are boom, 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 going through time fast. A neat? What's a neat? Never enter. What's a neat? But the animation style is very freeing. There's like loose lines. We got the heavily detailed floors and stuff. But we've got. Is this a commercial break? Oh, it was a commercial break. Oh, interesting. So, okay, I paused, like, I'm looking at her knees now. Okay, so we do have commercial breaks, so I'm gonna pause during those. Cool beans. I feel justified in that. We're only about a little under 5 minutes in. Okay, so let's wrap our brains around this right now. So, we've got the messy, yet kind, good-hearted main character. So she's a lovable mess. A little directionless. Not good at too much, doesn't go to sports, doesn't do much indoor stuff. What the heck is a neat? Never entered, and I don't know. Oh, my doggy. So, this is hilarious. This is gonna be such a good time. I'm trying to wrap my brains around what else we're getting. Big sister, which is cool. I do like watching the family dynamics on shows. There's not too many characters that don't have siblings that I've thought of. Well, I guess Kumiko. If we're gonna compare a little bit to Hibike Euphonium, Kumiko has her sister. I'm blanking on the other girl's name. Oh gosh, but you know what I'm talking about, the trumpeter. Her name just went whee out of my brain. But I think she's an only child, so I don't know. It's gonna be fun to really enjoy and see. My dog, what are you doing, baby? The different dynamics in the show. The loud, the quiet. Why are you bopping your head? Don't throw up on me. Did you eat your din? I mean your breakfast. I think I can say help. Focus. So anyway, it's always fun to see the same dynamics. Lovable, sweet, good-hearted mess. The quiet, composed, organized one. The strong leader. It's gonna be fun to see. What I'm really excited is eventually there's an anime I'm interested in watching called Keep Your Hands Off My Eizouken, which is about anime. And they all look like a mess. Someone compared it to Ed and Eddie a little bit, and I see that. So I'm excited to get to that one eventually. I think I really enjoy slice of life shows because they're just fun. And they're not as exhausting as sometimes shonen ones can be. That means I'm not going to do it. I will eventually do JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know it's on, I don't know if it's on the horizon, but I know it's in the queue. I do want to do one eventually. Gintama I thought would be fun to do, but apparently it's a parody of another show, and I feel like I would be missing references if I didn't watch the other show, so we'll see how that goes. And there's other shows that I'm interested in as well, and movies and things and so on and so forth. But, you know, in time. Where was I going with this? Oh my gosh, animation. All right, I'll end it here. I'll finish it here. So, it's got all the fun animation beats, the with the feet, the kind of floatiness to it, that with the kind of the objects, all these little character animation beats that show us what kind of person she is. That's about it. That's all I gotta say. Sorry. Probably didn't have to pause for so long like that. Oh. And that's her best friend. The light music of Kabe, that's Kim. Oh no, this is our drummer and her best friend. Okay, maybe not so quiet. It's interesting, she's very similar to... Oh, the pretty teacher with the glasses, gotta have that. Oh. Is she coming to grab her for class? I know, see? Oh, look at this dynamic. I love it. I told you it's annoying how in anime, when you watch it, you know who the pretty teachers are. Like, they know. Oh. She's gonna hit her head. Yep, saw it coming. She's gonna hit her head. I knew it. Oh, their dynamics are gonna be fun. Oh my gosh, she's conniving too. Oh, the tortoise and the rabbit. Tortoise and the hare. That story. That story is everywhere. But I like that. This little sculpture in things. That's so cool. A little bit of artistry in the school. I like that. I like seeing stuff like that. Oh my gosh, she's such a tomboy. I like the room. VR? She's got her legs out like that. She's okay. She's such a tomboy. Stubborn. A little slow, maybe. No interest. My gosh, she's overwhelming her. I like her little haircut, Mia. Oh, she's a little manipulative too, you jerk. She's so manipulative right now. See that little eye look? Like, oh my. Concerts, like good concerts, can really do amazing things. Can really change you. Oh my gosh, how old were they? Your recollection is wrong, right? Oh, they watched it on TV. Oh. Forceful, stubborn person. What a jerk. Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Oh, she just thinks they're funny. Yeah. Ritsu Miyoi. Oh, I forgot the pretty blonde's name. So that's her best friend, Yui. Again, it's fascinating. Like, you can tell her best friend's a little homely looking. Oh, okay. Oh, what? The camera angle. Oh, she's rich. She's a rich girl. So you have a couple weeks. She's really rich. Car vacation. So I gotta focus. Max Eberger. Oh, I like them. I like them. Okay, so for the past week, no reactions. Not many people play guitar. It's hard to find a guitarist. And one willing to join a band at that. Oh. So this is what's going to inspire her playing on beat when she was a baby? Reset. Nice. Okay. Three. Wow, we're getting what? Is it three commercial breaks? I'm glad they paused because I was like getting a little like confused. All right. This always happens every time when I watch an anime. So like reading and getting the beat and knowing how fast people's like how fast the dialogue in the show moves fast. We're getting so much of their personality. Rutsu is forceful, a little manipulative, stubborn, tomboyish, probably a little has a lot of determination. Because I think that's why they showed the turtle is to really show that she's very determined. What else? What else? A little delusional, perhaps. We have Mioi, who's not Mioi. Her name just left me. Oh, I'll get names. It takes me a couple episodes to get names. Is it Moi? I can't remember. Anyway, so her best friend, who is like sensible, has quite the personality. They are kind of that Tom and Jerry feel to them, for sure. You can kind of tell pretty quickly, which made our blonde laugh. Clearly a super duper rich girl. Had never been in a fast food place. Suggested buying a vacation home or a car for somebody. So, really rich. I'm excited to see how that play into the show. All the other girls are probably very sensitive, like kind of middle class. And then we've got our main girl, Yui, who her total music experience is clapping on beat with a little castanet, I guess, but very enthusiastically. And because she was enthusiastic, the teacher made a comment and thinks I can do it. Now, the episode description, the show description said she has a guitar somewhere, so we'll see. You can tell she's a big sister because not only does she have the high school jacket, but her little sister had the kind of typical schoolgirl shirt kind of thing. So it is interesting how in Japan, based upon their uniforms, you can tell if someone's in high school or in middle school or elementary. So I think it's interesting. Most schools, if you have uniforms, you can tell maybe what school they're from, maybe, but not what grade they are, especially if they're kind of in that period between middle school or high school, or if they look old for their age or young for their age. So I think it's interesting that I can tell, like, oh, that kid's in middle school, or that kid's in elementary, or that person's in high school, based upon the anime. I also was incredibly amused with the fact I looked at the teacher and I went, she's pretty. And then our dark-haired girl said the same thing. This is what's ridiculous about anime. And KyoAni's really good at it. And by the way, if KyoAni didn't do this production, please correct me. I don't want to keep saying it throughout every reaction. but I am super. I don't know. I'm excited. But it just amuses me. I'm like, oh, she's pretty, yeah. But you can tell like that Yui's best friend's kind of a normal, homely looking middle school girl. You can tell that our dark haired girl and our blonde are kind of cute. You can tell that Yui and Ritsu they're not, ugly, but they're not like pretty. You know what I'm saying? So it amuses me to no end that when you watch an anime, you can already tell what characteristics are needed animation wise to make someone pretty, really pretty, okay looking, ugly, or average. It's incredibly amusing. And for those of you who are wondering, like, what are you doing on your computer? I am in the queue right now for tickets to a K-pop concert. Oh dear. Have you? You haven't talked to the girls yet. Oh, you silly creature. No. It says guitarist wanted. She wasn't paying attention. Oh, so our friends explain it to her. Castanet. Nothing. That's not even how you play them. It's like that's not really how you play castanets. Castanets are actually deceptively hard. Interesting how you have to like apply and put an application for the club. Yui. Oh yeah, names are no, it's deceptive. So K-On is like light music. And now she's super. Oh, it's like Alien Club, anime. Who's the creepo in the back? Oh, good, the teacher directed her. I'm sure that turtle. But we're also getting some very, if it's a Kyoani beats. The feet, the really funky angles, the fisheye lenses, kind of that fun stuff. This girl has like an insane. What? This girl has an insane imagination. What does this girl watch and read? What a scaredy cat. Maybe that's why we are showing the turtle, because she is slow. What a scaredy cat. My gosh. Here's how Yui-san. No, she's not. It's been embellished. So why does she keep doing this? Oh, Moogie. Moogie is her name or nickname? Ooh, that looks delicious. You gotta be honest, girl. Ooh. They're on their tiptoes. My gosh. Sit down. It's okay. I love the little, again, character beats. Like the other two characters sit down in the chair. Yui's got her feet up on the chair legs. She like crunches down and looks like this. Oh, now you gotta be honest, pumpkin. Yeah. She knows music pretty well. Actually, they do. I don't know that name very well. She knows a lot about music, though. That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Well, her live will be found out, and I suppose that she'll be found out probably within this first episode. Does she even have a guitar yet? Oh no, she became super honest right away. Right from the beginning. Okay, that's good. They didn't get dragged on. Stop lying! No, because she needs to join a club. Oh, so they don't care. They're just gonna try to hold on to her. They did. Sometimes that works. So she's trying to be like nice and like and sensible. Like, hey, I don't have. Look, I don't have the money. I don't. Not the money. I'm confused. I don't have instruments. I don't have interest. I just joined. She likes food. So it's trying to be nice and make her comfortable. She likes food and she's lazy. She has no direction. She's so wispy. They just be honest. Like say we don't want to demand. You can stay. Oh my gosh, she's a crybaby. She's directional. She's wispy. She's a crybaby. She's a little too messy. Maybe not for you, but in general. Oh, cool. So they've actually been playing and practicing this whole time. Oh, I'm excited. But animating when it comes to music is really fun. Oh, it's lovely. Very basic, but very lovely. And, you know, music you would expect from a group that's only been together for like a week or two. Ooh, I love little hand moments like that. Like, hey, maybe I should join. This is sweet. Oh, close up of the sinks, students, hallways. That was lovely. That was super cute. I love that. It was cute. It was so sweet. Oh! Well, it wasn't amazing, but it was okay. out. Definitely best friends. I'm on a sports club now. She could be the roadie. That's cute. They're encouraging, like, it's okay. Like, why don't you start learning guitar? A lot of people, like, they'll join bands and, like, we'll teach you because they're just desperate for members. So if you have a little bit of musical talent, which people have more music talent than they think they do usually. She's so messy. Well, your friends kind of, you know, it makes sense. That's cool though. You can always see if there's one available in the music rooms. No. That's so funny. They're like, she's worried about the music club. Oh, she's gonna be a fun addition. We'll see. Oh, reach the end. Oh, that's great. What is with this animation? Why aren't they wearing clothes? Okay, this is great. Sorry, I'm also a little distracted because I'm in the waiting queue to like get tickets for a K-pop concert. Oh, 1 minute left. I like the costumes. Those are cool. Drums, Ritsu. Oh, we're getting names. Cool. Drums, Ritsu. Yui for on guitar. We'll see how much she grows. Sorry, I'm so distracted right now. Because I'm in the waiting queue. Keyword Tsumugi. Mugi being her nickname. Tsumugi. Mio. Mio. Yeah. Not Mioi. Mio. Like the drink mix. Sorry. There's like 1 minute left in the queue. In the waiting room for the queue. This is going to be a really... I'm really close to the mic. This is going to be a really fun show, though. It's cute. It's chaotic. It's going to be probably a lot less dramatic. Definitely just dramatic than Hibike Euphonium. So it's going to have more of that comedy and that feel and that messiness, like controlled chaos that comes, like, for instance, with Mob Psycho 100, but, you know, less superpowers. Sorry. I'm just waiting. Less than a minute. But I don't know. It's gonna be really cool. I'm excited. My sister's like, I believe in you. Oh, a little bit of the enter credit scenes. Maybe. Oh, so this is like the preview for the next episode. She's like right next to you. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Between the finishing of my recording and this review, I bought 2 tickets for a K-pop concert for my sister's birthday. I walked the dogs and made myself a late breakfast. So the magic of editing. There's a lot of stuff that can sometimes happen between when you record and when you record. This show is adorable. It's a lot of fun. It is something, usually there is that adjustment period for me. Let me take my phone and put my phone down. Usually there's that adjustment period for me where I am trying to get used to the pacing of the anime, the animation styles, of the subtitles, because reading subtitles can really hurt my eyes. So, but I will get the characters down. I'll start being able to see things a lot better. This is such a fast-paced anime. It's a comedy, which makes sense. There's a lot more drama in... What's the word I'm looking for? What's the show? Hibike Euphonium. So actually, Hibike Euphonium had a much slower pacing to it. So I was able to take in so much. And also so much of the show, so much communication was done non-verbally in the show as well, and through the music versus the dialogue. So this show, there's a lot of talking. A lot of the characters are like chitty chatty. But we have a great diverse character, personality-wise, cast. We have the pretty teacher, who I am assuming is the advisor for the club. We have Ritsu, who's a troublemaker and leader. We have Yui, who's kind of our main girl, who's more mess than lovable in terms of being a lovable mess, but hopefully she'll get her feet under her. She's only a 15-year-old girl. We have Tsumugi, or Mugi, who's the pretty, obviously very rich girl with the soft doe eyes. She's our pianist. And of course we have Mio, our bassist. So the next episode looks like it's going to focus on Yui, them trying to get a guitar for Yui somehow. Now there are places, I don't know, in Japan, but you know, I suspect if they had a band or a chorus and no one was paying, why is my dog barking? And no one was playing the guitar, maybe they would let them borrow, but I suspect the band director would not let, I don't know why my dog's barking. I suspect the band director would not let a student borrow an instrument for just a club. So even if there was a instrument to borrow, probably wouldn't be allowed to anyway. I don't know why she's barking. What else? We also, so basically it's going to be focused on that. Looks like Mia's going to try to chat with Yui about something. I'm not sure. She had a little bit of that soft voice, but we have these personalities. It's going to be interesting to see how they clash. Now, in terms of them playing, they're playing, it was not terrible, but it wasn't like amazing. You know, it was the kind of playing you'd expect from young girls who have only been like hanging out for like a week maybe. So, and it was on beat. It sounded okay. People were in tune. It was a cute little ditty. Not a great band piece, I'll say that much. I wouldn't want to listen to it at a concert. I probably wouldn't even want to listen to it. You know how sometimes at farmers markets they'll have somebody, have some sort of person in a band or instrumentalist playing. Sometimes they'll have people singing, like doing music performance on the side. I probably wouldn't even want to hear it at a farmer's market. So they definitely have a long way to go. But they've just officially started. So we'll see what their trajectory will look like. Again, we're getting a season 2, which is super cool. There is a season 2. And we also have a couple of movies. So I'm excited to dive into this new, very fast-paced, very funny, clearly very funny anime that has a couple, at least for the first episode. What's the word I'm looking for? Commercial breaks. So because this anime does have commercial breaks, I will be pausing. Yeah, on YouTube, it's follow along. For the version, there's a link. Just, if you don't like the whole follow along aspect of it, just pay attention to the about section, please. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.